We got some good news today, faithful, and it is about 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy. And honestly, a bit of a surprise today. So we are going to break it all down. What's going on with Brock, his current stages in the concussion protocol, and is Brock Purdy actually going to play against the Bengals? Because I'm over here mentally preparing for Sam Darnold. What should the Bengals be preparing for? Sam or Brock? We're going to talk about it all right now, but you already know what to do. Drop an SDS in that chat. Smash that like button. Return of the Brock Purdy. Let's go. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. Oh, baby. We got some good news today. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting this. I don't know if you were expecting this. Shout out to all the SDS. We see you guys dropping in the chat. Hold on, I'm doing something real quick. Let me get this off so I can focus. All right. Oh, SDS, good old sourdough squad. Today I needed this update today. I needed this news today. It's great news. The best of news. And again, if you haven't heard or if you've heard, we'll just recap and we'll all react to it together. Because I was mentally preparing myself for what it would look like for Sam Darnold to be out here starting that quarterback for us. Honestly, I never thought I'd see the day that Big Sammy was going to be starting for the 49ers, but it was like, oh, here it comes. Here it comes. I mean, when we saw the reports that Brock Purdy was in the concussion protocol, that was one of the first things that we heard. Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport. Well, it does look like it's going to be Sam Darnold against the Bengals. Well, thank goodness we got Brock Purdy back at practice today. Oh, man. So happy. So happy that we got Brock Purdy back at practice today. Wasn't expecting this. This video is from Nick Wagner. As you can see, Brock Purdy's got the helmet. He's got the pads. He's even got the hoodie on. We got hoodie Brock out here. Ooh. We got hoodie Brock. Okay. I feel it. I see you, Swaggy B. Let's go. Hey, Brock pulling out the hoodie. He's meaning business. But this is a phenomenal sign. I was not anticipating this is where Brock Purdy was going to be at in this week. I talked about it earlier on a video that I posted. Rich Eisen was talking about how it's been almost a full calendar year since a player was placed in the concussion protocol and played that following week. So he was basically like, get ready. It's going to be Sam Darnold. We haven't seen a player clear the concussion protocol in the same week that he was placed in it. So this is huge. This is really, really huge to see Brock Purdy out here getting after it. Listen, I was a big proponent of, getting Sam Darnold in here as a backup quarterback in the offseason when we were trying to figure out who QB3 was going to be. I was like, let's give Sam a chance. Let's give him a chance. But I wasn't ready. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't ready to see Sam Darnold against the Bengals in a game that we got to win. I mean, Fred Warner said it. He said this is a must-win game. I agree. 49ers can't go on a 0-3 skid into the bye. after the way they started. And again, we've talked about the way they've lost. The way they've lost has been so uncharacteristic. It's been wasted opportunities, missed opportunities, and can't have can't just like Jason says, bro, my mental can't take a third loss. I don't think anyone can. I really don't. I don't think anyone's mentals are prepared for a third loss. So Brock being back is fantastic. A lot has happened in the past 24 hours, right? We just found out yesterday that he was in the concussion protocol. He didn't practice. Um, so it's been a whirlwind of information coming out. So since yesterday, we were able to identify the play where he got concussed. We've seen what had happened post concussion. After he got concussed against the Vikings, he went 2 of 6, 2 interceptions. Um, so this is good. This is good news for the 49ers as we get prepared to bring him back. Dr. Narav Pandya, friend of the channel, he kind of gave us a little bit of a breakdown of where Brock Purdy is currently at in the concussion protocol. So, based on what we're seeing out of practice today, it looks like Brock is almost completely cleared through the protocol. It appears that according to Dr. Narav Pandya, that he is basically in the 4th step of a 5-step concussion protocol. So based on kind of where they're at, he is nearly cleared for full contact, which would be the 5th step. And that gets cleared by the team doctor and an independent doctor as well to ensure that the concussion has been resolved. So this is a really, really good spot for the 49ers, Brock Purdy, and the return for this game against the Bengals, because my goodness, did we need this. So as you can see, you got Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy throwing video courtesy of NBC Sports. Needed it. Needed it. Needed this, especially after that loss to the Vikings. And again, it goes without saying, Brock played really well against the Vikings. So I would imagine we're going to get another quality performance out of Brock against the Bengals. And this is a good team coming in here. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon. That's a good offense that this defense is going to have to be faced with stopping. So a lot of this week has been Steve Wilks, the defense, concussion. We can check the concussion thing almost completely off the box. It feels like if I had to bet on it, I would be putting money down that Brock Purdy is going to play against the Bengals. We know Brock is a tough son of a bee. You go back to last year in his first career start against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. He broke his rib on like the first, second, or third series of the game, played the entire game, and then on a short week, went to Seattle without practicing that entire week, got out into warmups, couldn't throw the football 10 to 15 yards downfield, and then had to go into the locker room to get an injection in his ribs to be able to come back out and throw 2 touchdowns and clinch the NFC West. Brock's a legend, man. People are trying to undercut Brock every chance they get, and I'm sorry. I'll make it officially known now in case anyone didn't know already. Brock Purdy's slander is not accepted here. So if you want to go out of your way to slander Brock over here on this channel, it's not the spot to do it, because you're going to get booted out of here really, really fast. And that's because Brock Purdy has earned that right. He has earned that from me based on how he plays football. In the short time that he has been the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, he has earned that ability for us to defend him and ride for Brock. Like that that's our quarterback right now. We'll determine if he's going to be the quarterback of the future for a long time. We'll determine if he's going to be the franchise guy later on down the road. He's our quarterback right now, and he deserves that level of respect for how he's played and for what he's done and for the toughness that he brings to the table, the leadership he brings to the table. Brock's our guy, man. Brock is our guy, at least on this channel. At least for me, I can't speak for all of you. I can't speak for everyone. Everyone has the right to their opinion and whatever they want. You have your right, but on this channel, for me, Brock is that guy. And we are going to defend his honor. Yeah, we're going to defend his honor. Brock's our guy. So just wanted to put that out there. I'm really happy about this news. I really want Brock Purdy to be able to go out here against the Bengals. And if we get this dub against the Bengals, baby, we're back on track, man. We are back on track, and we need Brock under center. We need him leading this entire crew. This offense just runs. This offense just runs so much better with Brock Purdy under center. So that's it. That's my guy. That's my guy. I accept no Brock Purdy slander. It's just how it works. Just how it works. Just want to let you guys know. That's how we rolling around here. So I'm very happy about this. Turn my frown upside down in a heartbeat. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this. So we're close. We're not out the weeds yet. So we did get some additional news out of practice today. It doesn't appear that Trent Williams practiced today for the second day in a row. So Trent Williams, I think Nick Wagner reported that he looked like he was potentially working off to the side. I do think that there's a chance that Trent Williams plays today on Sunday. Now he's not off to a good start, but I do think there's a chance that we will see Trent out there. I do think that Trent is going to want to be able to get back out there. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, he's dealing with a bit of an ankle sprain in which he suffered against the Browns. So we know he didn't play against the Vikings, but we do also got to shout out Jalen Moore, man. Got to give credit where credit is due. Jalen Moore has been on the right and wrong side of my critiques. He found himself back on the right side. So shout out to Jalen Moore for how he played against the Vikings. He played really, really well. We even highlighted on the film breakdown one of the crucial blocks that he had on a Christian McCaffrey touchdown where he doubled a backer. He did a really, really good job. So shout out to Jalen Moore. If Jalen Moore needs to go, it's not ideal. Obviously, you want the best left tackle in the world if you can. But Jalen Moore did give me a level of confidence that I feel a little bit better about. If Trent can't go, we got Trey Hendrickson coming to town. He's a phenomenal edge rusher. He's given Trent fits in the past. So if we can have Trent out there, that would be ideal. But shout out to Jalen. He played really well against the Vikings. Want to give him his credit. So I feel less concerned like last week going up against Daniil Hunter with Jalen. I was like, no. But thank you, Jalen. You made me feel much better. So Moore, you get your credit for how you played phenomenally. No sacks given up. Held up well. So we'll see what happens with Trent. Obviously, we know Debo's not going. Debo's going to be out until further notice. We'll figure it out what's going on after the bye week. So no Debo. But outside of that, I think we're pretty good. I think we're pretty ready to go against these Bengals. So we'll see. What I'm really excited to hear about is what Steve Wilkes is going to say to the media today, because Steve has been in the crosshairs for fans, for Kyle Shanahan, for kind of not not having his group ready to go, I guess you could say, against the Vikings. Just a lot of questionable. Obviously, we know the halftime call. Kyle Shanahan straight up said he messed up. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he responds to that, and what the response is schematically. I care less about what he's going to say to the media. I care more about how he's going to respond schematically. Um, that's it. That's it. And so what I think I know about the 49ers defense is they're going to take pride that's going on. They know they're under attack. They know that they hear the noise. They hear it from the fan base. They hear it from the media. They know that they didn't have their best game against the Vikings. So I think this is a prideful group, and I think they're going to step up to the challenge. I do. So I'm expecting a much better game from the defense against the Bengals, but it is dependent on Steve Wilkes to put out a good call and call a good game, because we were talking on State of the Franchise with Aponte about this yesterday. You go back to the Bengals and when the 49ers and Bengals played in 2021. That season, obviously, we knew what it was. 49ers started out slow. They had to build momentum and win games down the stretch. And obviously, the Bengals, I think that was the year they went to the Super Bowl. So they were a very good team. And we went to Cincinnati, and that was the game that we didn't even have. We didn't even have Josh Norman. Like, that's how hurt the 49ers were in their secondary, that we couldn't even play Josh Norman, who was like our sixth cornerback at the time. So we had to put out Ambry Thomas, the rookie, who had struggled up until that point. And D'Amico Ryans had to call a scheme-specific game around his personnel. And he was able to call a game with a ton of cover two shell that protected Ambry and put a lot of emphasis on the linebackers, Fred and Dre, and the safeties, to really patrol the middle of the field and the deep thirds, um, to protect Ambry. So when I think of that defensive performance against the Bengals in 2021, I think of D'Amico. I think of how D'Amico called that game, how he schemed that game to help pick up the slack with some of the injuries that they were suffering from. Let's go, Steve. Let's go. We got to scheme this up. We got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow coming to town. We got all the Joe Schmoes coming in, ready to tear us apart. They're rested, they're relaxed, they're healthy, and they're going to come in to Santa Clara to try to strip us down and give us our third loss in a row. And again, a huge part of what football is how you respond to adversity. It's not if adversity is going to strike, it's when adversity is going to strike, and it's how you respond. The best respond to adversity. It's not all going to go perfectly. It never does. So how are you going to respond to it? And that's the biggest thing that we got going for our defense right now. How are they going to respond? How are they going to respond to the critics? How are they going to respond to the tape that they put on film? How are they going to respond to that? And that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a big time response. I'm looking for a lot of energy, and I'm looking for this defense led by Fred Warner to be able to get these guys back on track. And if we know what the case, we need to play complementary football. That's what it comes down to, is we need offense, defense, special teams on point. We need to nip this missed field goal issue in the butt with Jake Moody. We need to get back to being on point. No more, like we've seen, missed field goals are a huge reason why the 49ers have lost 2 games in a row. So we got to fix that. Defense, healthy, all of it, and get ready for a dogfight against a playoff caliber team coming out of the AFC. So I feel much better, though. I feel much better that Brock Purdy is what looks like he will be playing in this game. So need it. Huge game. Huge game. Biggest game of our season so far. This is the biggest game of our season so far. We thought it was the Cowboys game. Turned out it wasn't the Cowboys game. Cowboys didn't want to show up. So this becomes now our biggest game of the year. It means a lot considering the context in which we are going into this battle. Losing 2 in a row. How we lost 2 in a row. We lost to ourselves. We beat ourselves. I've been saying this all year. The only team that's stopping the 49ers is the 49ers. And what did we see the last 2 weeks? The 49ers stopped themselves. That's it. Like, of course, credit to the other team. Credit to the other team. I don't want to make them seem like they're scrubs, but at the end of the day, it is the 49ers who beat themselves. That's really what it comes down to. So I do think that the 49ers need to get this back on track, take care of their business, stand on business, and play your game. You play your game, no one's beating you. No one's beating this team if they play their game. So, big challenge. Big challenge. Kind of feels like playoff football already. So, we'll see. We'll see what the 49ers do to get this thing done. So, we are also a couple days away from the trade deadline. So, I don't know how you guys feel, but I think the 49ers need to be buyers. I've been saying it for a long time, right? Um, but we gotta be buy. We gotta buy. We got some holes to fix in that defense, and pass rush is where I'm starting. You guys know I've been talking about this for about a month now. I was able to identify this early on, that pass rush has been an issue, and I don't even think it's I still don't truly believe it's Nick Bosa that is the issue. I think it's the opposite side of Nick Bosa that is the issue. Um, and Cleveland has been playing well. I like Cleveland. I think Cleveland has been a phenomenal addition to this defensive line. He's not a prototypical pass rusher. He's a good quality big end in this scheme, and I like him for a specific role. And I've said this from day one with Cleveland. But I'm not expecting Cleveland to be getting after the quarterback. I want to see someone else. Randy Gregory, okay. He really didn't do a whole lot against the Vikings, but he's okay. We knew that when we traded for him. Well, I wasn't expecting crazy, crazy big numbers out of Gregory. Drake Jackson right now, struggling. And we need more depth. We need more edge depth. It has to happen. We cannot go into the playoffs with this edge depth as it currently stands, because if they have one injury at this edge position, it's going to be challenging. So I, of course, would love Brian Burns. However, I did see the report from Dan Graziano that it doesn't appear that the Panthers are listening to offers for Drake Jackson, excuse me, Brian Burns. Um, so if that truly is indeed the case, and you guys already know how I feel about Burns, I'm here to pivot. So what does that pivot look like? You have two defensive ends that are known to be on the open market, that are known to be available to purchase if someone comes calling. Those two defensive ends, Chase Young, Montez Sweat. Both those guys are available right now, according to Jordan Schultz of Bleacher Report, who said that either one of them could potentially be had for a second or third round pick. So although Burns is ideal, he would be the most expensive. Now, if you want to pivot and you want to go for Chase Young or Montez Sweat for a cheaper cost, yet can still provide an impact, then I'm for it. Listen, I would love to get Brian Burns on here. You guys know it. But if he's not available and he can't be had, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. We're going to pivot. And if it's Chase Young or Montez Sweat, I feel good about those potential options. If you could get me one of these guys, Montez Sweat has 7 sacks through 7 games. Chase Young has 6 sacks through 6 games in which he's played this year. If you get me one of these guys, I'll feel much better. So I want the 49ers to be active. We have 11 picks heading into this trade deadline. I think of when the 49ers traded a 5th round draft pick for Charles Omenihu. Charles Omenihu was a big time addition to this 49ers defensive line, and they got him for a 5th round pick. If we can get one of those on top of a high end pick with like a Montez and someone else, like I'm looking for the 49ers to add like 3 or 4 pieces at the deadline if they can. Whether it's high end or cost effective, do it. Cornerbacks, defensive line, go after it. Go after it. So we got our first quote from Steve Wilkes on the Cover Zero play. This tweets from David Lombardi. Steve Wilkes says, "I take full responsibility for that call. I have to do a good job of putting the guys in better position. I wish I could take it back, but I have to do better." So that's Steve Wilkes' response for the blitz call against the Vikings. It's a good response, I guess. Takes responsibility, obviously owns it. It's about all you could do, to be honest. It's about all you could do is take ownership for it and just kind of move on. So again, the hope is that he can correct some of these issues moving forward. So I saw the report as well that apparently the Denver Broncos are listening to offers for Patrick Surtain. I know Patrick Surtain would probably, if Brian Burns isn't available, Brian Burns is my number 1. But if I had to go number 2, it would be Patrick Surtain. Surtain. Do the 49ers go after him? Keeping in mind, you're for sure parting with your first, maybe 2 firsts, maybe 2 firsts and a second. You're paying. Oh boy, you are paying for Patrick Surtain. So are you going after him? So and then the logistics of how that would work is you would get Surtain, you would put him on the outside, and you would have Surtain, Ward, Demo in the slot. But you are giving up a lot of capital. I feel like it's similar to the Brian Burns ask last year. They're not parting with Surtain with less than 2 first rounders. And the fact that the 49ers would have late first rounders uh, knocks the value of those picks. So I think they would have to give up even more. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how the 49ers go about this. Do they go for value or do they go for the home run and the overpay? Because honestly, I think that's the only way you get Surtain from the Broncos. You got to overpay. It's got to be almost a gross overpay because they don't need to trade him. He's still got 2 more years on his rookie deal. He is a blue chip cornerstone, shut down, lockdown corner that does not need to be traded. You could still build around him. They're listening to offers, but I would have to assume it would be a gross overpay to have to be able to pry him from the Broncos. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I also heard rumors of Jalen Johnson, who would have been a good option as well, potentially be in the middle of contract negotiations with the Bears. So I don't know if he becomes available. It was rumored that the 49ers made a call on him. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think the 49ers need to be active. I think they need to be aggressive. I think they need to be smart, but I'm willing to spend. Talking about it like they're my picks and my money. I'm willing though. Hit me up, Lynch. Let's scheme. Let's game plan about who we should target, who we should go after. Because I don't think our defense is where it needs to be. I don't. I think interior defensive line, I think we're fine. With Hargrave, Eric, Kinlaw, and Gibbons. Gibbons has been a dog this year, guys. Like when Gibbons comes in, he plays. He plays very well. So I'm fine with all those guys. Kinlaw as well. Kinlaw's still making plays. He made some plays against the Vikings. Kinlaw, Gibbons, perfect second line on the interior. So I'm fine with our interior defensive linemen. I'm fine with Bosa. I feel like Bosa definitely got off to a slow start. He's been playing pretty well. But we gotta address. We need some serious speed on the other side. We need some serious speed on the other side. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. For sure. Save Wandell. I'm a big Wandell fan. I am. I think Wandell is underrated. He's been dealing with injuries throughout his young career so far. But man, when he's good to go, he's good to go. Wandell is a great short area wide receiver. Honestly, I think the 49ers would actually do well. Like we don't have like one of those guys. Like Debo's a freight train with the football in his hands. Wandell is slippery. Like we don't have one of those super slippery, like cut on a dime type guys. Like we all have very like They're all really good in a bunch of different ways. Um, but we don't have that like prototypical slot guy that can just put you in a blender in a phone booth and just cook you out your shoes. Like we've got, Juwan. It's a big slot, basically. Ayuk's prototypical one. Debo, offensive weapon. But we typically use him around the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. Uh, Wandell would be a nice ad, honestly. If the 49ers want to get a little bit more, Ray is quick and shifty, but he's not kind of that he's not kind of like that slot shifty, if that makes sense. Like I think of like Trent Taylor, those kinds of guys, small, compact, shifty. Not great deep speed, but really good speed in a phone booth. I wouldn't mind that. Wandell's nice though. I like Wandell. Roberto says if Wilkes is a DB guru, why are DBs not as good? I mean, the 49ers, listen, we spent a good amount on Charvarius Ward. I think Charvarius Ward has been solid. I think he's been solid. He had the interception. Almost had the other one. Unfortunately, turned into a touchdown. I feel like Ward has been a really good cornerback for us. But it's also important to remember Diamonor's a fifth rounder. Womack's a fifth rounder. Luter's a fifth rounder, I believe, as well. Like, it's not like we're investing first and second round picks into cornerbacks. It feels like the 49ers have a tendency to get value out of that position as best they can. So, you know, we I'm not sitting here saying I don't think the perception of the DBs is 100% on Wilkes. It's just you know, it's just the guys that we got. And I think Ward's good. I think Demo's up and coming. I think we're all right. We just need to put them in better situations. That's really what it comes down to. Is we just need to put them in better situations and all that stuff. But what other cornerbacks are out there potentially that could be had? I'm trying to think of who could potentially be on the block from a cornerback perspective that isn't totally the highest of high end, uh, you know, the Patrick Surtains of the world. Maybe someone you could get for a fourth rounder, fifth rounder. Who's someone out there that maybe could be had? You know what I'm saying? Um, Jalen Johnson would be nice. Jalen Johnson is the third highest graded cornerback in coverage in the league. What about like a Razul Douglas? Let's see who else. D Alford from Atlanta would be nice. I like D Alford. He's nice. Maybe Kendall Fuller. He's a little older. He's 29, but maybe a Kendall Fuller from the Washington Commanders if the Commanders are looking to sell. DJ Reed. Ooh, I would like DJ Reed. Ooh, Chidobe, maybe. I I'm not hearing Chidobe's getting a lot of run with the Bengals. Um, I absolutely would like, Awuzie. He's good. Uh, let's see, who else? Sean Murphy Bunting, maybe. Uh, it's not that great. Benjamin St. Just. I like St. Just back in the day. Get Zion McCollum out here. Carlton Davis. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think there are options for the 49ers to be able to go out. But I think they got to start up front. I think they really need to start up front with D line. Edge rushers. Edge rushers. Edge rushers. Get me edge rushers. Do I think we should trade Jake Moody? I was having a conversation with a 49er fan in the airport about Jake Moody because I think at the first signs of struggle with Jake Moody, fans are just they're done. They're like, go get Robbie Gould, right? Like that's the thought process. I don't even think that Robbie Gould right now is really on the forefront of the 49ers front office's mind right now. Like they had the opportunity to re-sign Robbie. They didn't do it. They opted to draft Jake Moody where they took him, and they are prepared to have to live and die. They have to. Like, that's the unfortunate nature of riding with rookies. It's the same process, like, of hiring someone at like your job. Like, let's say you're a manager and you're hiring someone straight out of college. You're hiring someone that has never worked in your industry before. You have to live with all the bumps and bruises of these young guys coming in who are going to make mistakes, who are going to have to learn trial by fire. That's what you sign up for. And it's much different than going out and paying a much higher premium for an employee that you know has 15 years of work experience and that can literally step in day one and get the job done. And you don't have to think twice about it. That's what comes with the territory. You're drafting a rookie kicker in the third. All right, you better be prepared to ride and die with that rookie kicker as he continues to get acclimated to the NFL. It's just what it is. Like, that's the decision that they decided to make. Was it a decision that I wanted to see them make? Not necessarily, because I knew that was going to be the case. You have a team ready to win now. You have a team ready to win now, and you have to live with a position that directly impacts the outcome of games. It has impacted the last two games and why they have lost. It's not all on Jake Moody why they lost, but it has played a huge role in why they lost. So this is the way that I look at it is you made the investment, you have a guy, and you can't throw him in the trash. as much as you feel like potentially throwing him in the trash, you have to build him up. You have to, if you truly believe that he has what it takes to be a quality kicker in this league, you gotta stand behind him. That's what you get when you bring in a young guy like that. You gotta ride with him. You gotta build him up. You gotta prove to him, hey, every kicker misses kicks in this league. You gotta swipe it on to the next. So the hope is that Moody doesn't become a head case. That's the thing. It's like we know he has ability. Moody can kick the ball. He just can't get in his head. And that's the hard thing with getting a rookie is because rookies are inherently head cases. So it doesn't matter if it's a kicker, a quarterback, a left tackle, defensive end, a cornerback. Rookies are going through it. So I think they're gonna ride with them. I think unless this becomes like a legitimate issue as we get further into the season, I don't see them moving off him. I don't. I really don't. I really don't. Until it becomes an issue where they are like, all right, this is an issue. We don't have like the rope that we're giving the kid, there's no more. And if he misses another one, we're pulling the plug. Like that could happen, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. So we got to see. We got to see what's going to go down. Terrell says all in on Pat Surtain, Tristan Wirfs, or Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to respectfully decline Jerry Jeudy. I don't want Jerry Jeudy within 35 yards of my facility. I don't want Jerry Jeudy nowhere near the 49ers. Pat Surtain, Tristan Wirfs, sign me up. I love both those guys. Jerry Jeudy, I had the bus tag on him coming out of Alabama. He's proven to me that he ain't got it. I don't think he's got it. He is a phenomenal route runner, but he doesn't have anything else. That's it. He's got routes, he's got speed, he got zero hands, and he's got zero dog. I don't want anything to do with Jerry Jeudy. Keep him away from my squad. I nope, nope. Um, nope. When he was coming out of the draft, I was like, he's not even the best receiver on his roster. He's not even the best receiver in Alabama. How is he going to be the best receiver in this draft class? Devontae Smith as an underclassman was better than Jerry Jeudy. I would even said Ruggs was better than Jerry Jeudy. I don't like Jerry Jeudy. I don't like Jerry Jeudy at all. But Surtain Wirfs, sign me up. I'm not a Jeudy fan. Wasn't a Jeudy fan coming out, and he's only solidified why wasn't a Jeudy fan. He doesn't have hands. Dude can't catch. Dude can't catch. He can't catch at all. I've seen Cansey a little bit. I got Cansey on my IDP Dynasty League. I got Cansey on my IDP. I haven't like watched a full game, but I've seen some highlights of his. A lot of the things that you were pointing out. And I don't think Vita's going tonight, so he might get a lot of run. He might get a lot of run. We should have took CeeDee Lamb over Kinlaw. That's my opinion. My draft strategy for that year was to take CeeDee Lamb 13 overall and trade up into the back end of the first for is it Justin Jeffrey? Why do I keep blanking on his name? I keep doing this. Jeffries, the defensive tackle for the Titans. Why do I keep doing this with his name? Justin Jeffries, right? That's what it is. Am I tripping? Simmons. Yeah, thank you. I was tripping big time. My grand scheme back in the day was taking CeeDee Lamb and then trading back up for Jeffrey Simmons. That's what I wanted. And would have been pretty successful with that plan. But they flipped it. They went Kinlaw Ayuk. Ayuk worked out. Kinlaw definitely isn't at the level of Simmons, who's one of the best defensive tackles in the league right now. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted CeeDee Simmons. Would have been nice. Would have been nice. But we'll see. We'll see what the 49ers do. We shall see. What else? You guys got any last couple questions before we get out of here for today? Obviously, huge news was Brock Purdy practicing today, and what does look like he will potentially clear the protocol here, which is fantastic news. 2 firsts and Debo for Patrick Surtain. That's a lot. That's a lot to give up. That's a lot. It's probably too much. It's probably a little too much. You take Debo out of there, I would really have to think about giving up 2 firsts. That would be tough. I don't think you could do 2 firsts and Debo. You take Debo out of there, I would have to think long and hard about 2 firsts for Surtain. I'd probably do it. It just feels like the 49ers wouldn't trade Debo. If they would have traded Debo, they could have got Garrett Wilson, but they opted not to do that. They paid him, and now he's a captain. So I don't think they would consider trading Debo at this point. But we'll see. We'll see. I just want the 49ers to be active at the deadline. That's really what it comes down to. I just want them to potentially make multiple trades. Like, I'm here for multiple trades. Give me edge, give me corner. I'll feel pretty good about that. I really don't think many changes are coming for the O-line. If they also wanted to get me like a little slot wide receiver, I'll be down with that. but that's my wish list right now. Edge, get me Montez Sweat, get me a cornerback, and what trade makes an instant impact? Montez Sweat. Instant impact right away. Right away. Why not 2 firsts in 7 years? They've only hit on Bosa and Ayuk in the first round. I would consider 2 firsts. I definitely would. I would consider 2 firsts. Um, I like the idea of having those firsts, but if that's what it took to get Patrick Surtain, I would definitely think long and hard about it and would most likely pull the trigger on that, because if you're thinking about it, those are 2 late firsts. I would definitely I would think about it, but I would most likely trade 2 firsts for Surtain if I could. There aren't a lot of players right now that I think I would trade 2 firsts for, but Surtain is one of them because of his age, because of how good he is already, and how many years on his rookie deal are left. So there's a lot of plus factors on top of his ability that make that a potential trade, because you're not getting anyone of Surtain's ability likely uh, in the late first. So if I took 2, I'd be all right. I'd be all right. 49ers still have a ton of picks. They have 11 picks next year, so they'll figure it out. They're going to have more comp picks the following year, so they've got it figured out. If it takes moving some firsts for proven players that can help us win now, I would definitely consider that. Would definitely consider that. Uh, People want Brunskill back. Shout out Brunny. Brunny might be the only. I think Brunny's the only 2-time player that's been on the channel. That's been on the channel 2 different times. Shout out Brunskill, 49ers legend. Let's see. Who would be a surprise trade? Who would be I mean, like for the 49ers to go out and get someone, or for the 49ers to trade someone? I think there's 2 ways you could look at that. Are the 49ers trading someone? Like, surprised that they trade someone, or that they go out and get someone? Uh, the biggest surprise trade, get me Brian Burns, someone that we would acquire. Um, I mean, an easy answer would be anyone under like contract. Uh, I'm trying and think of one that could potentially be something. There aren't that many options. Not that many options, unfortunately. I want someone on defense. If you get me like a if you give me like a Jalen Phillips, that would be fire. Jalen Phillips, Shaq Barrett would be interesting. A potential surprise. Khalil Mack. Grant Cohn talked about would 49ers trade Kirk Cousins. Not surprised. It's pretty on brand. I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of guys that you could consider a surprise trade. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Not sure. Rashawn Gary. Would they trade Rashawn Gary? Five sacks on the year? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. Trade for Joey Bosa. Bosa Bros. That'd be wild. That'd be wild. But we got to get something. We got to get something on the D line. We got to get some edge. We got to get some edge, baby. We got to get some edge help for show. Getting that for show. That's my number one, though. I think we need edge help. Hargrave and a third round pick to bring Buckner back? Nah. No, I think Hargrave is great. Hargrave making plays out there every week. He's making plays out there every week. Hargrave's showing up. I'm not trading him. I love me some Defoe. Big fan of Defoe. But nah. Hargrave's been great. Hargrave's been phenomenal for us. He's probably like our best defensive lineman right now with how he's been playing. So yeah, I can't do that. I love Defoe. Huge Defoe fan. Hargrave, not trading him. He's been great. We need edge. We need edge. That would be such a lateral move. That would be such a lateral move going Hargrave to Defoe. It'd be just a lateral move. That doesn't change anything. We need to add edge. We need edge. We need potentially cornerback. But edge. We need to get after the quarterback. And we need to stuff the run. That's really what we need to do. Speaking of Hargrave, wait, let me double check something real quick. And let me if I see this correctly. Hold on 1 second. What I think it might have been Hargrave. Let me double check. I think it might have been Hargrave that saved that run that yeah. Okay, this play we haven't done a defensive film breakdown. Just because I think people are over the game. But if you need a reason to believe and understand the importance of Javon Hargrave and why he needs to. So Hargrave's right here. This should have been a touchdown, but watch Hargrave right here. This is the first play of the game. If Hargrave doesn't make this tackle, Madison is gone. That's a touchdown. That's an opening drive. That's an opening play touchdown if Hargrave doesn't make that tackle. Hargrave's out here balling. I'm not trading that guy. That's a touchdown if Hargrave isn't there. That's a 3-tech making a touchdown saving tackle about 20 yards downfield. I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't trade Hargrave. Too good. And that was just the first play of the game. Can't do it. Not a considerate veto. I like where your head's at. I see the wheels spinning, but we can't go lateral. We need to go different step. So we'll see. We'll see. Dude, I would trade pretty much about anything for Brian Burns. First, third player, absolutely done. First, third, and a player, right away. Where do I sign? First, third player for Brian Burns, where do I sign? I would do it in a heartbeat. I would not trade Greenlaw, though. I would not trade Greenlaw. No, I can't do it. Continuity with Buck. I mean, Buck hasn't played here in like 3 years, so I don't think there's a whole lot of continuity left, to be honest. But man, if you get me Brian Burns somehow, first, third, and a player, signed, sealed, and delivered. But we'll see. Only a couple days left of the trade deadline. I think after this Sunday, things are going to get active. And it's a perfect time to add someone at the deadline to give them, about 2 weeks before the 49ers play again. So I think after this weekend, that's when we're going to start seeing fireworks. That's when we're going to start seeing teams competing for players to trade for, buyers, sellers. So that's the way I'm looking at it. After this week, you're going to see trades. You're going to see trades popping out. Pew, 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 pew. Hopefully the 49ers are involved. I hope so. I think the 49ers need to get better, and I hope they get after it. But we'll see. Shout out to everyone for tapping in. Thank you guys for vibing with us. Again, great news on Brock Purdy. Still waiting to see what's going on with Trent Williams, but we're in a good spot right now with Brock. Does appear like Brock is trending in the right direction. And so we're getting healthy for the Bengals, and we'll see if the 49ers are indeed buyers at the deadline. So appreciate all you guys as always. Grab your cookies on the way out. We'll do Prediction Friday tomorrow, and we'll be back to preview Bengals 49ers. Shout out to all you guys. I'm out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it.